He's had a great history against this club, kicked 5 goals and had 30 possessions last time they played. They've got other match winners down there, but they've also got a couple of holes. This is a ripper, and the joint is rocking.
West Coast Eagles, Western Bulldogs 2015 underway. Nat Nui first, up, down, got it on the way down. Selwood wrapped up by Bontempelli. And as expected, there's a quick free kick. No report, but a quick free kick, and it's Mitch Wallace first up for the Bulldogs. Wants to move it quickly. High ball up, Boyd on Brown. Second man in. Here's the man that Barry just spoke about. McGovern gets his first mark, but he misses his target. A tough one for Marston with a handball over the top. Cripps comes at it. By hand back. And this one is back to the first gamer here in Jackson Nelson.
Great to see a left footer coming in for every club. Hawks have built premierships on it.
You just go on the back 50, don't you, if you're left footer?
Get in the back half.
Don't think you're going to kick goals. Just walk to the back line. But as we spoke about pre-game, the ability to use the ball short to soak up a bit of pressure, but then when the opportunity goes, you've got to pull the trigger and go quick.
A little bit of pressure on Prittis there from the kick from Yo. The spoil was by Dowhouse. Yo to tidy up his error there. Rosa attacks it, but attacking it better was Boyd. That's Matthew Boyd. Flicks it out the back towards Wallace. Tom Boyd there as well. Going in to help out for the second time, Rosa.
This is the pressure the Dogs need. Need to really put the ball carrier under a lot of pressure so he can't hit the target. And as we spoke about, they've gone very big, and that's through necessity with Redpath and Boyd up there. The ball's going to be on the ground a lot. It's going to be turned over. They've got to make sure that they keep the ball in their forward half.
Pivotal battle here in the ruck. Both players all Australian, and they're doing quite well around the stoppage at the moment here, the Eagles.
Shuey. Back to Hearn.
Like this pressure.
That's the pressure from Pickin that time.
Absolutely. This is exactly the start that the Bulldogs wanted.
He moves it quickly. Wants Boyd. Boyd gets rid of his opponent, but then can't take the mark. McGovern again. Back to Brown. Again, good pressure. This time it came from Dowhouse. And that pressure in that 450's got this crowd up and about.
And Dowhouse is involved there. When we saw on that occasion, Boyd actually got in a really good position. It was Stringer that got into the back of him. That's going to take a little bit of time just to coordinate the forward 50. A few new players up there.
Minson was in front. Nat Nui came over the top towards the Brownlow medalist in Prittis. Wallace fishes it out towards Cranberry. Has Pickens, got to use him back. Wood. He's under some pressure. Kick towards McRae. Down low, Selwood. Did well to get it over to Hearn. Good vision by Hearn. Now Lacroix. They want to move it quickly. Lysette is very athletic, the big man. He moves on. Gets around Roughhead easily. Inside the forward 50 for the Eagles. That's transition. That's good footy.
That was one of the best kicks I've seen this year. Only been a few games, but absolutely brilliant from the skipper of the Eagles. He's known for blasting the ball long, but under enormous pressure with half a dozen bodies around him, he picked out a target 35 metres up the ground, hit him on the chest, and that set up this shot at goal.
He was a goal kicker last year. Cripps kicked 27 goals. Directly in front, 40 metres out. First score for the Eagles. And the first score for the Eagles is a good one. It's a goal.
That's all about transition footy.
Oh, yeah.
Richie, the Bulldogs had set up a camp in their forward 50, but they weren't able to get it. Let's take a look at this kick under enormous pressure. Gets on the handball and then just picks it out of target through the middle of the ground. And that then sets up the width in the game. And this is a really good kick from Scott Lysette as well. Good to see the big men delivering the ball like the mid-sizes.
A beautiful kick inside 50.
Nice start by the Eagles. So the Bulldogs had all the pressure in their forward 50, but it was an open one for West Coast and Jamie Cripps. In game number 51, as you see, 56 career goals. He finds the goals. Bad bounce, that should come back. It does.
And the problem—that's the problem with, or the risk with high-intensity forward 50 pressure, pushing all your numbers up. Once the ball gets out the back, it can be an easy transition. So, really, the Western Bulldogs must make the West Coast Eagles pay on the back of all that pressure.
Touched off the boot. The kick by Prittis. Ricochet ball. Well done by McGinnity. He managed to knock it clear. Handled by Sheed, though. Cut off. Honeychurch. Wide at Dalhouse, combining with McRae. McRae will try to get on his left, or he kicks with his right. Not bad, but not good enough. Standing in the way, Hearn.
Interesting use of Lacroix. Started off the back half or the back line of the square, and he's just floating around the middle, unattended at the moment. This is good ball use again by the Eagles.
Shuey, man going past Shepherd. Open forward line. Kennedy, almost. Wellingham there as well. Johannesson under some pressure. Talia, good kick. Found his target in Cramery.
He went had a bit of each way there, bodied him out and tried to launch. Probably just needed to jump on the shoulders there.
Yeah, you're spot on. Had to go one way or the other.
Switch here by the Bulldogs.
Risky on the left.
Yeah, he missed his target. Then Boyd under pressure from McGinnity. Hangs onto him for a fair while.
Put him on the
Dragged him down. No free kick. Marston on the boundary. Bounces a tough one. Roughhead. Support. Boyd. Goods. That's a hot handball. Here come the Eagles from that turnover. Sheed. Gone. Tackle. Brilliant tackle, Wallace. Kept the ball to him. Not rewarded. We'll have the ball up.
Yeah, Roughhead has to be careful when he had enough time and space. He wasn't forced onto his left. He elected to kick on the left. You've got to get onto your more dominant side.
McRae.
Well, we saw McGinnity over-tackle Matthew Boyd. Didn't want to let him get up and get on the end of the handball. But he still got up and got on the end of the handball, so he needs to actually finish the job. This is really good forward pressure again by the West Coast Eagles.
And notably, Roughhead on that occasion was on the right, hit the target.
And that's the kick that the coaches want to know why he was allowed to slide up and take a chest mark, because there was pressure everywhere. It just needed, I think it was Chris Marston, to turn around and just see which player was going to fill that hole.
There's a win for West Coast.
Dixon's kick, not a good one. It just dropped on its end. Shepherd reads it best. Quick switch. McGovern in the middle of the ground. He sees Marston, who has Prittis, and now Gaff right in the centre circle. They continue to switch. They continue to push it wide. Hearn is a lovely kick of the football. Here's a long ball into the pocket. Perhaps a little bit long for Kennedy. McGinnity can't get there. Roughhead back first. Strong handball by him. Johannesson. Down the line he goes, and he hits his target in Boyd.
Well, that's better from the Western Bulldogs. It's the first time they've rebounded really off the back 50. Everything else has just been under duress, but that time had a bit of counter-attack about it.
One-on-one situation. Good spoil from Mitch Brown. Shepherd getting some ball.
They got the extra one back there now, West Coast.
Rosa cutting through Marston, but he gave it up quickly. Boyd's kicked forward. Clever use of the body by Picken, but almost got a falcon there, hit him on the head. Yo just evades the tackle, did well in the end.
There's the +1 again.
Short kick, Yo.
Do you think they need to square it up?
Absolutely. I think the Dogs +1, he's in the middle, but he's lost in congestion at the moment.
McGinnity tries to turn Morris inside out. That's a very difficult thing to do. He's a smart footballer. He causes the error.
Roughhead just down there. He's Roughhead hitting the fence.
Well, that's a poor kick from Matthew Boyd. The pressure now is premiership pressure. It's not NAB challenge pressure. It's the premiership season, and those kicks have got to hit targets.
Be dangerous here, West Coast. Watch Natanui.
Shallow throw-in.
Shallow throw-in, couldn't get it involved, but we'll have a go again.
Massive players around here. This is where they can be really dangerous. As you said, Natanui can palm this on a silver platter to his smalls.
Wellingham went past it. There's Natanui on hands and knees. Boyd, Matthew Boyd, high ball, play on. The bounce is fickle. Boyd again, Kennedy lurking. Quick to boot, but went wide, just to behind.
And this is the man they will be putting a lot of time into stopping, Robert Murphy, releasing off half-back.
There he goes, Jared, on cue.
Well, McGinnity, the guy chasing, I'd say has been set with the task of stopping that man.
3 disposals in that chain by Murphy. Unfortunately, the kick just dropping short for Redpath. Now we've got some turnover footy here. Hearn decides to kick. Could have handballed either way. Saw Lycett in a gap. Gets rid of Cremery, back on it. Takes on the tackler. Throw. Umpire in perfect position.
Well, it's fast and frenetic. Lynchy, they're going to be looking for the oxygen tent in about 5 minutes' time.
As the lactic acid starts to really build up, that's a beautiful
That's an
kick.
excellent switch. Look at that. Johannesson doesn't break stride. He likes to run. He's got a bit of room to move.
Think his way through.
Kicks it deep. Arriving late, Stringer. Too late.
Just did not think his way through that. He had the ears pinned back. He was always going to go long. Had to pull the kick short. But just blazed away to, again, where the West Coast had the numbers.
Barry, you're at grad level?
Yeah, really feeling the pinch both sides down here. 60% of the time they get the footy, both of these sides they're playing on. So it shows you the phonetic pace of this game, and they're really feeling it on the interchange.
And it continues on, Barry. Dixon takes them on, runs hard, kicks to the square. Almost Tom Boyd. Now for Jong. Can't maintain possession. Runs into Shepherd. Goes back. McGovern's there. There's a whistle. High kick. West Coast.
Well, opportunity there for Tom Boyd. He's got to take those, and in time he will, as he puts a little bit of muscle on that frame of his.
That's right, and certainly just didn't have the leg strength just to dispose of his opponent.
That's a great kick too.
We've seen some wonderful kicking so far.
That's an aggressive kick.
And again, as Barry mentioned, they play on.
Oh, here we go.
Releases Shuey in traffic, in space, kicks the goal. Again, the transition for the West Coast Eagles.
Great transition, and they got out the back. Cripps actually come off the interchange bench and was running into space as well, so they had a couple of options. Very nice finish from Shuey. But yeah, the concern here is turnover after that very aggressive kick out the back. So too easily a West Coast Eagles midfielders getting out of the back of the defence of the Western Bulldogs and running into space. If you run into space, very hard to stop. So great play from the Eagles and rewarded again on the scoreboard.
It was wonderful coast-to-coast play, but did you think that Cremery let Hearn go too easy off the mark?
A little bit easily, and I think they'd be concerned about just how much footy Shannon Hearn has got. If Hearn gets 25 possessions, Eagles generally win. McGovern also, he's kicking off that half-back, that full-back line's important.
Hearn with 7 already, Jared.
McGovern with 6.
Yeah, it's big numbers early because we're not even halfway through the quarter. The pace continues.
Centre's open. If it's an aggressive kick, though, no, he pulls it good late.
And he's really late. He managed to do okay in the end to find Picken by hand. Dalhouse provides an option for him. Down the line he goes. Target Cremery. Almost. Good stretch. It might come back to him. He's on the hands and knees. Well done by Dixon. Brown's down big time.
Actually.
They've already lost Mackenzie in the pre-season.
Let's hope it's a head knock. He's holding his knee. Looks like he's holding his left knee. But the way he went down was a big concern. He was in his contest and just buckles, I think, under him this next one. Yeah, he's hurt it there. That is not a good-looking injury, Jared. I wouldn't have thought.
There.
No, this one. That one. Just buckled there. That is not a good-looking injury. How'd you see that one, Jared? Hard from here, but it was one of those ones that you don't see a big hyperextension or anything.
No, that just looks like the force going through the leg was too much.
Yeah. But that's the function, ACL function, isn't it? Without being too dramatic. That's not a good looking.
He knew straight away, put the arm up straight away. Now we're coming to the stretcher, so this is terrible news for the West Coast Eagles, given they've lost Mackenzie already.
So left leg, this one. Not much in it, just locks there marginally, so little in it. But
and look at his face.
So often see those small ones where there's not a dramatic hit or big twist. They often can be the worst. And yes, not in my field, but
well, it's hard to believe it could be anything else. I think right now he knows what's happened.
Yeah, that is terrible news. For a man who has had his injury problems,
yeah.
Absolutely, and the club's obviously had the problems. You know, Brown's down there is working himself back into the team. Saw their probably greatest ever defender retire last year, and then Mackenzie goes down with an ACL as well. So sincerely hope that's not the case, but doesn't look good at this stage.
It's just been a litany of whacks to the defence, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's right, and I mean. Bo Waters as well, who struggled with that shoulder injury for an extended period of time. Take him out forced into retirement at the end of last season. And here's the list. Their back six that they're missing: Glass, Waters, McKenzie, Will Schofield's out at the moment with an ankle injury. It is bad news for
well, you're looking
both
at
the team and the individual.
You're looking at All-Australian fullback, All-Australian halfback, and Eric McKenzie, in my view, was the All-Australian fullback, or one of the tallbacks last year.
And best and fairest winner last year.
Stiff to not be recognised, got the best and fairest, which is testimony to just what a great season he had. Schofield's a fine player. He's going to be so needed right now, given this looks like a serious injury.
Well, I think,
okay, guys, how do they restructure up here? What do the West Coast do in getting some tall down back?
Well, it's a hard one. I mean, certainly McGovern's back there now, and just looking through the list, it is very hard to find out. They're going to be well and truly undersized down back.
Well, Hearn probably has to play as a tall defender,
back,
so it means they lose the rebound.
Their sub comes on. He's got some height. He's 193, Tom Lee.
Yeah, he's more a high half forward.
Half forward, yeah.
An extremely good athlete, so you probably have him at centre half back. You wouldn't want to push him deep defence, but we saw Mitch Brown just before there, and I think he's resigned to the fact that he's had a serious knee injury. And the thing you tend to know in these situations, the lack of stability through the knee, and although the pain quite often goes, there's probably no pain right now.
It's described by some as all or nothing. You get this massive amount of pain at the time where a ligament snaps, and then all of a sudden 10 minutes later there's no pain. You can get up and you can walk off the ground. We see that often. We saw with Eric McKenzie, for instance, not so long ago.
Well, certainly I've firsthand seen a couple of players run the boundary line thinking they're going to come back on, only for it to buckle once they go back on. So, I mean, not good news for that man, but yeah, certainly feel for Mitch Brown. He's done it pretty tough in recent times with the injuries.
And in the coach's box, you saw Adam Simpson. It'll be like a knife in the guts, but he knows that there's a game that needs to be won here, and he'll be looking for Shannon Hearn. He'll be looking for Elliot Yeo to play tall.
Yeah, I think that's the key. Elliot Yeo has to. At the moment, he's got Cramery.
Well, he's got the running power to go with Cramery. Cramery, when he's had a few games in the match practice games, he'll play a fair bit of time in the middle. So I think they'd like to see Yeo play through the midfield as well. So that's not a bad matchup.
So it was a frenetic pace. The players have had a breather now with Brown's injury. And the West Coast certainly had the momentum. The Dogs yet to score. McRae to Boyd.
The bloke who hasn't had it yet's Bontempelli. He's been well held.
And that man is Selwood. Has got the job. And he's back into it. Bontempelli over the top of him.
It's fair to say they've been planning that matchup for a few weeks now, and that was reinforced with that first quarter Bontempelli had in NAB 3 against Collingwood with 15 disposals. They set Selwood for that matchup.
From the ball up, Wallace first to it for the Western Bulldogs. Selwood letting Bontempelli know that he's there.
Now, conversely for the Bulldogs, they need to capitalise on a big height advantage, because this actually could be worse for them if they're not marking the ball.
That's true, but I mean, Tom Boyd is the height. Jack Redpath is the height, and they've got less than 50 games between them, so they're inexperienced. Maybe Minson can go down there, but I guess the Eagles can go the other end of the ground as well. But there's a stage here for one of these tools to actually jump on top of and dominate.
Well, they won't get too many better opportunities than tonight. The 50-metre penalty. Liam Picken will go to the goal square, and I reckon he's pretty happy with that. The Bulldogs players need to clear out of this. They don't want this reversed at all. They've got the 50, and the laydown was their goal.
Classic Liam Picken, the tackle, by the way. Wonderful tackle. Won the free kick on Sheed. Now he kicks the goal. And so from the stopping play, the Bulldogs get the first back.
And he's one of those players, a real barometer with Dow House, the tackling pressure. He's a player that can set about locking down on a player, whether that through the midfield or, as we've seen in recent times as well, as a defensive forward as well. So very good pressure to convert that into a goal.
Well, she's been a frenetic opening half quarter. Some fantastic footy played. There's potentially a match winner yet to touch the leather. But despite the magnificent display of footy and the fast footy, everybody, I think, is saddened by the fact that one young bloke's season appears to be over.
Devastating news. There is no doubt about that at all. But you're right. From the coach's box of both teams, they need to put that aside at the moment and deal with what's out there. And certainly the Bulldogs need to continue to back up.
It was a nice flip back there by Nat Nui to Pritis, but Pritis is he's being mauled in there at the moment, and why wouldn't he be?
Boyd, he just changed his mind as he went to kick.
Oh, he's lucky to get
Very lucky to get a free kick there.
He just dropped the ball.
Yeah, here's
the
Murphy.
man.
On the burst, penetrating kick. Long ball, Stringer is up and down. Hearn reads it best. Shepherd is swamped. 1, 2. There's a kennel of Bulldogs there. Stringer again. Might be a free kick for too high, and he does.
Yeah, it's just a little bit high. He just dropped his head at the time that the skipper, Shannon Hearn, came in. So a good couple of minutes, and once again, it is ill discipline from the West Coast Eagles players not to know that Robert Murphy is going to come off. Every time Matt Boyd gets the ball, he's not going to want to kick it. Kicking's not his greatest strength. He'll want to give it to Rob Murphy to launch into the forward line.
And that's when they'll play good football, is when Murphy's got it in his hand from centre back to the centre-half back line.
1.5 goals a game last season. Started to look really dangerous towards the end of 2014. Here's Stringer for his first shot for this season. 2 in a row to the Western Bulldogs. 1-point ball game.
Good work from Stringer to get in low, draw the free kick. I wasn't overly happy with the fact that he went as the third up jumper because you had your 2 bigs there already and he's come over the back. But the reality is he had stayed in the contest, just drops the left shoulder. Hearn goes slightly high across that shoulder, draws the free kick. So the free kick was there.
Yeah, I think it could be his year. If I was him, I'd have it on my locker. No more second Stringer.
Stringer with the goal, and from the break, 2 very quick goals to the Bulldogs, so there has been a momentum swing. Back in the middle, it's Minson up against Nat Nui. Nick Nat was trying to find Selwood on the way through. Manages to lay the tackle on Minson. Wallace on the up, nice handball to Wood. He gets underneath it. Tough one to mark, but they all converge. Crummer needed. Look at the pace from Dalhouse. Front and square, comes through, no one to handball to. Goes himself, goes again, runs into 2 Eagles, ball up.
How quick is the footy at the moment?
Oh,
it's fantastic, isn't it?
It is lightning, and although they have got 2 and 3 forwards going for the ball, as we saw in that situation, there's a wave. We see Ling John coming through, Dalhouse coming through. They're all hitting the pack.
Stringer caught, good tackle, want to get rid of it. Ball up, plenty of players around the ball, forward 50 for the Bulldogs.
So you can see there is a predictability of the ball movement into the forward 50, and there's just a massive midfielders hitting the front.
There's John, Minson, through his legs. Marston, Rosa, he's caught. Quick kick from Goods, it squeezes out to the left. It'll sit for Yo. And he clears nicely.
That's a great kick.
It's a beautiful pass to Lacroix. Again, it's an open forward line. West Coast want to move it quickly. Lacroix closed down by Morris, forced to go back. Gaff goes a long way back, and the Bulldogs have closed it.
Got the corridor open though.
McGovern.
It was better from the Bulldogs, the fact they covered the first one. Now it's hit the ground, put pressures on the West Coast.
He's got enough time though, Hearn, just to spot up the man in the pocket.
Shepherd again is free up the middle. This time they elect to do. She's they're aggressive from defence at the moment, the Eagles.
Shuey. Morris saw Wellingham coming. In slides Goods, and he wins the free kick because he got there first.
Well, that could go either way. You could think the legs could have been taken there as well.
Goods. Quickly. Ball at ground level. Dalhouse.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see the replay of that one. My initial thoughts were it was going to go against the Western Bulldogs for the slide, or
I was with you.
endangering the legs of the oncoming Eagles.
Let's choose to go to the ground here.
No, I reckon that's okay. The Shepherd goes to ground and hits him on the hip.
We'll agree to differ.
Well, we can do that.
Minson doing a good job just blocking Nat Nui getting a run at it.
Yo can't get free. Wallace quick hands. Cranberry just a half a fumble. Could be costly. It is. He doesn't quite make it. 3 on 2. Hearn, John. Hearn's got him. John can't get the ball free.
He is doing a power of work, Shannon Hearn. He's given away a free kick, ended up in a goal, but the skipper is having an absolute blinder in the first quarter. He's set up a couple of shots. He's had 9 possessions. Boyd also at 9 across half back line for the Dogs.
As you can see, as we expected, boys, Tom Lamb has come on. Pick 33 from the Dandenong Stingrays, going in for his first game, so good luck to the young man.
He's about to enter the arena. There he is there. Dyson Hipple-like hair. Minson up in the air. That's play on. Nat Nui wanted it the most. Well done. Good hands to Prentice. Breaking for him, Gaff. Dixon comes and gets him. Gaff over the top of the hands. Well taken by Selwood. It was a hard one, but he got it clean. Off the left boot, he pushes it out in front of McGinnity. And the boundary gets there first.
Well, it was a nice grab from Nat Nui and a lay-off, and then good disposal until they found the boundary line. And with 5 minutes to go, Baz, they would be doing it tough. How about the guys coming off the interchange?
Yeah, still blowing. And look, it's round one. We know it's pretty hard to emulate this sort of intensity, but, geez, they're feeling the pinch.
Nice knock by Minson to the kick from Honeychurch. Shepherd is everywhere at the moment. He'll take the kick. No, decides to use the hands over the top. Away through Gaff.
Kicking to a 2-on-1 situation. It's probably poor percentage footy, but they're playing territory.
Quick hands, good handball too by Boyd. Johannesson, Murphy threading the needle. Want to be quick.
Got to stop Murphy.
Wallace likes the handball. Johannesson gets a third chance to go. And he falls over as he gets a handball away. Untidy there from the Western Bulldogs. Cramery. Bontempelli went without it. The Eagles don't. Cripps again. Kennedy a long way from goal. Uses his hands. Now Marston runs. Pushes it to the pocket. A lot of space there for Lacroix. Lacroix steadies. Straightens. Kicks. Delivers. Goal!
On turnover, that was good pressure on that occasion through the middle of the ground from West Coast, caused the turnover, and then on transition into an open forward 50.
Well, it was one of the better passages of play I think the Eagles had produced, and it started with Shuey. Shuey was looking after two men. He was trying to guard Murphy, and he still put some pressure on the ball carrier, which created the pressure of a poor disposal. The Eagles won it back, and then it was just good transition footy. Started with Shuey's work.
That's 3 of their goals all through transition, Jared.
It's been good. Their pressure has been superb, the Eagles, as has the Dogs, and that's why we've got a cracking match at the present time. But I was just really pleased with the double effort of Luke Shuey, whose work on that half forward through to the middle in defence was set a standard that if it's met by everyone else will prove hard to beat.
Picken, unusual disposal, but it went his way. Boyd, the contest. Goods off the ground. Stringer trying to get rid of Yo, runs into Wallace. Yo goes again for a second effort, flips it out the back, and they converge and now will have a ball up.
And this essentially is where the game's being played. So the defensive pressure in the forward half for the Bulldogs, they've got 7 forward 50 tackles to the West Coast 2, but it's when the West Coast get clean ball out of this area, they cut through.
Honeychurch wants a free kick, gets it. So it's again a similarity for the Western Bulldogs. They get a free kick in that congested area to have a chance to kick a goal.
And putting big numbers around the contest, they're confident enough to push big numbers up on the ball, knowing that at times they'll get hurt on the way back, but they're backing themselves in at the moment to get enough clean ball to hurt the West Coast on the scoreboard.
Only played the 3 games last year in his debut season, kicked 1 goal, so he'll be a tad nervous. It's not a difficult kick. 20 metres out, kicks truly, 3 goals apiece.
Well, it's been a great game of footy.
I agree totally. It's been a classic round 1 intensity. The pace is really high. There's a few skill errors, but I think both coaches would be content with the way their players are throwing themselves at the contest, putting their head over the ball and using the ball when finding the space. There's not a lot of space out there, and certainly West Coast have capitalised on that more than the Dogs, but here, again, big wave coming through.
And the Eagles have got an interesting setup at this centre bounce there. Forwards, every one of them is right up the ground.
Yeah, they've got
the big pack.
Big pack at centre forward.
Where all their goals have been pretty much running back towards goal. So they're prepared to leave the space out the back.
John on top of Shuey. Prentice wanted it out the back. Selwood, very clean pick up again. Wellingham by hand. Prentice kept going, gets it from Gaff. He's on his left. He kicks long again. It's a one-on-one situation. Nat Nui. Spoil was a good one from Roughhead. Crummer needed. Nat Nui will get there first. Needs some help though. Got a call out from Lamb, his first possession in AFL footy. McRae, pressure here for Wood. They're not out of trouble yet, the Bulldogs. Wood, kick is a tough one for Honeychurch, who got a good spoil, comes in from Shepherd.
And just to reinforce what we were saying before, all goals on the ground for both teams has been generated from the forward half of the Western Bulldogs.
Yeah. So this a little bit different. We're at the other end. We're right on the 50 for the Eagles. Lysette couldn't take it. Bontempelli's first disposal. Spirals it towards the boundary. Hearn. This will be disposal number 10 for the skipper.
If you're looking for the switch, just try to get out to the far
Big
side.
match-up this one, Lynchy. Stringer and Hearn.
Really important one. And that's why it's important. Oh, he's stiff there, I would have thought.
Yeah.
Stringer needs to impact the scoreboard, which he's done.
Nelson, he's lucky to get the free kick.
He had
but
the
got
full
away with
Nelson.
it.
It was half Nelson, at least a clip around the ear holes.
It was a corner Nelson at most. He switches quickly. Marston and Yo. Cripps the target, next in line. He's going to have to go back to Marston, maybe Nelson.
Well, this is
Off
where
his
they've got
line.
their extra. They've got the spare back. Just got to use him.
And I like the umpire calling play on. Quickly get this thing going. It's been good with the everyone watching at home doesn't want to see chips across the half-back line. Get on with it.
You reckon the umpire's just umpiring to the audience?
Get on with it. It's good for footy.
Wellingham again to Yo. He wants to go quickly. Marston. They haven't gone far yet, the Eagles. They've found one in the corridor here.
Could still come out this near side.
They've been pretty
Hearn's the
disciplined, though, the Dogs. They,
Rosa is in some space. Got him. Butler. Lamb wants it. Goes longer. Spoil comes. Morris to tidy up. Pickens got some pressure. Got some issues. Has to go back. They'll probably want the boundary here, the Bulldogs. And Lamb makes sure they get it.
Yeah, good tackle from Lamb.
I'll tell you what, you look for differences when you see a side that's had a summer break to work on weaknesses. The one thing I see the Eagles doing really well is aggressive kicking up the middle of the ground. Lynchy just from deep in defence. We saw McGovern. We've seen Hearn. And again on that occasion, just picking a bloke out in between three dogs and being confident in your kicking skills to hit him on the chest.
Hard to get free here. Both teams. Ball up. Inside. Well, just over a minute remaining this first quarter.
Just get a look at Selwood, Peathy. Yep.
Just see the correspondence between the umpires there. Keep an eye on Selwood. He's got a big job on Bontempelli. Such an inexperienced player in Bontempelli. Game 17, I think it is, but still a very important player.
Well, this was always going to come for the Bont, and this will be a real test for him. It's early, but he's a significant star. So getting a kick with somebody who's out there just to stop you getting a kick completely is his want in life for the next 10
Well,
years.
it's early because Griffin and Liberatore have gone. This doesn't help.
Again, pressure from both teams. Very hard to get free. Selwood gets Bontempelli. Rosa, like a rugby maul, tries to duck through. Wallace is at it hard. Jong extracts it, gets it, and kicks it long. They've got time for one more here. Big pack forms. Man staying down with Shepherd. Goes to ground in the second effort. Through McGovern's leg. Now a chance for the Bulldogs. Stringer with strength and uses Wallace. He's got a man forward. He spots him around the corner. Dalhouse, 2-on-1. Still a chance for Dixon.
Oh, there's legs.
It looked like it. Going in was Gaff. Dalhouse again. Oh, something from nothing from Luke Dalhouse. Bingo!
I think Adam Simpson will be filthy with that one. They had 2 or 3 chances there to kill that ball, and the Dogs just kept on putting the pressure on. And Luke Dalhouse, as you rightly said, Matthew, he just found a way. Here it is. Here's one chance.
And
That's a drop mark.
Free kick as well.
That was a free kick.
Yeah,
Yes, sliding
absolutely
in.
a free kick.
Here's another chance where they had the ball. Just need to kill it there, but to allow a bloke to pull it out of that pack and snap round his shoulder is something I reckon the defensive coach will have a look at. It should have been a free kick for sure.
That was extremely dangerous. Great to see Dalhouse get involved again. He's been very good through the pre-season. 7 disposals now for this first term. They've got live wires up there. They've just got to keep the pressure up.
So final seconds of the first quarter. The Bulldogs have wrested the lead here. 4 goals of the last 5. Siren sounds. What a first quarter. What a start to the season. The fans have turned up here at Etihad Stadium. The players are continuing on there. Adrenaline still pumping. But a sensational start. Nothing in this match. 4 goals to the Bulldogs. 3 goals, 1 to the West Coast Eagles. 5-point game. 2015 is alive and well.